Yo, what's going on? It's your boy CJ. Welcome back to the channel, dear viewer. I have today for you the PoE 2 Dawn of the Hunt patch review or patch summary. 40 minutes condensed down into a short video for you because I know you don't have time. Anyway, before we get into the video, I'd appreciate it if you like and subscribe. Alright, so it's looking to be a pretty decent big patch here. I'm actually pretty excited for the Huntress class. So we got the Huntress class added, no Druid yet. We have 5 new ascendancies, character system improvements, unique support gems added, endgame improvements which are huge, new endgame content, the Rogue Exiles from PoE 1 are back with a slight twist. We have 100 plus new support gems and 100 plus new uniques, new maps, mounts, unique charms, crafting and more. Alright, so they showed that Huntress has specters, but like they can only be used on beasts and they can only have one at a time, but they also did actually add specters into the game. So for the Huntress, they revealed the ascendancies. So we have Ritualist and Amazon. The Ritualist Huntress ascendancy gives you an additional ring, was like one of the possible things. You get increased bonuses from jewelry as well, and they also had this unique thing where you absorb rare monsters and take one of their mods, or if you spec into it further, you could life tap for a random rare mod. So that's pretty interesting. And then we got the Amazon, which is more of they said like attack focus build, but also look to be like elemental damage builds. And they have a elemental damage leech, which was pretty interesting. So yeah, like leeching health from doing elemental damage. And then hybrid flasks, where if you use your health flask, it also uses your mana flask, or like has the effect of both, and vice versa. So if you use your mana flask, it will use your health flask, or use both at the same time, or gain the effects of both at the same time. Okay, and then we have the new ascendancies. We got a new warrior ascendancy, Smith of Kitava, gives you animate weapon for PoE 1, and then we have this interesting smithing, sharpening mid-combat like Monster Hunter. Kind of looks jank, but it is what it is, I guess. And then we have a custom body armor slash builder body armor, so like build a bear workshop, but instead it's build a body armor workshop. You basically get a normal chest body armor, but so like not rare or anything, and then you choose what goes on that body armor. I thought that was pretty interesting. Tactician, the new mercenary ascendancy, is a support class. Yeah, like looks like a very support focus, like meant for like party play. Focused on suppressing, stunning enemies, and buffing allies with banners. And then we got the Witch Ascendancy Lich, which life taps for energy shield. There was this like extra chaos damage buff, which drains your mana, and I think your allies' mana as well. And then we got pops on curses. So if you curse, then that gives like a 30, I think it was 30% chance for pops for you and allies. So it doesn't matter who kills the target, it'll pop. But unfortunately the animation didn't look that satisfying, but it still pops. So can curse hexproof enemies as well. And then they showed some skills and support gems, but the main ones were Ray Specters are here. So Specters are back, and you can use them on their own and either have like a lot of small specters or a few large specters. You can mix them with your minions, or you can go specters only. It's like up to you. They just were basically showing that you can choose how you want to structure your summons. And then this was kind of interesting. Mounts are now added, so now you can summon a rower, and for range classes you can attack while on top of the rower, and kind of like D4, if you get hit too much you will get stunned or staggered, or you get like CC'd off of it basically. And then 100 plus support gems. They showed a couple, but like, I mean, they only showed like a couple. They also showed only a couple of the new uniques, but one of the interesting ones they showed, which I thought was pretty cool, is the triple herald body armor. So basically it's a body armor that gives all of the heralds, but the interesting thing is there's no spirit cost for the heralds, so it's now free. And then every enemy in your presence has no resistances at all, and it gives you all resistances. So I thought that was pretty cool. The league mechanic, so basically it's tormented spirits from PoE 1 redone, called wisps. Basically you follow the wisp and it will empower all the mobs it runs through. Basically if you let it get too far, it'll just dissipate. But then there's different types of wisps, so this wisp, the special wisp, upgrades enemies into a higher tier. So if it's a normal enemy, it will turn to magic, magic rare, and then rare will turn into a boss, which was pretty cool. And then there was also an endgame map. I can't remember what it was called, but basically it is a multiple guaranteed wisps map. So yep. And then endgame changes. So this is like where the meat and potatoes are. So there's 7 new maps to find. Well, they didn't show all of them, but there is a map that has like 10 boss fights where you just spawn one boss after the other, up to 10 maximum. There was this like mirror map where as you run through, the map kind of like reveals itself, I guess. And then at the end you get like jewelry, which has a additional prefix or suffix amulet at the end. So basically it will give you additional prefixes but less suffixes. So it could have, yeah, like 1 extra prefix and 1 less extra suffix, or multiple extra prefixes with less suffixes, or vice versa. So it could be multiple extra suffixes and less prefixes. And then there was this greater essence map where the more of the essences you did buffs the big boss essence at the end. But if you like did too many, then obviously it could just be really overpowered and just be a waste, basically. There was also new unique essences. Those look pretty interesting. And then, yeah, so Rogue Exiles are back. But there's the twist of the Rogue Exiles are actually using the armor and weapons that they're wearing. And then if you manage to kill the Exiles, because they're actually going to be, they look to be hard, then you get the armor or weapons that they're wearing. So if they're wearing some super rare unique and you kill them, then they drop that unique. But because most, you say, rare or uniques are like really strong, then the Rogue Exile will be really strong. There's unique strong boxes. So they have like, there was like a unique strong box that every time, like it would spawn an enemy, and every time you kill it, it would respawn the enemy like 10 times or something. And every time it respawned, it would get harder and harder and harder. And then there was like another strong box. I think it just spawned like a absolute crap ton of enemies at once. Was like, I don't know if it was a bug or something, but it's at like 70 packs or something. Or something ridiculous. And then instead of the complete X tier of maps 15 times objective, you basically actually go to the corrupted areas that you see on the map, and there's going to be a thing called a corrupted nexus. You cleanse the corrupted nexus, and then all the corrupted maps in that area become cleansed maps. And corrupted maps now have like real modifiers instead of just plus monster level. And then cleansed maps also have their own monsters, modifiers, and rewards. Basically, they were saying you have 2 choices. Either you clear the corrupted maps and then you cleanse last, meaning you're not going to have any cleansed maps to do after because you completed them as corrupted, or you beeline straight to the nexus. You do as little of the corrupted maps as possible, and then you cleanse the nexus, which turns all the maps cleansed, and then you complete them like that as cleansed maps. There is a benefit of doing it that, because the new fracturing orb drops from cleansed enemies, and that new fracturing orb is some actual crafting in the game, which has been added, which locks an affix or modifier in place. And then they have reduced the numbers of towers drastically. So there's going to be 1/3 of the amount that there used to be. Yes, there's going to be way less towers, but they're going to be way more powerful. So tablets add twice as many as mechanics now. We have a reason to run towers with higher tier maps as well as more mods. So firstly, if you run them as higher tier, it increases the number of mechanics applied by the tablets up to double the amount. Also, towers can now use 3 tablets at once now. All towers start with 1 slot for a tablet, but if you run it with 3 mods, then you get 2 slots, or 6 mod tower equals all 3 tablet slots. And then towers can now spawn with all mechanics, including bosses. And then we have maps start with 6 portals. A lot of people complaining about this, but a lot of, like the PoE veterans, like a lot of PoE players that have been playing for a while, they actually like the idea of 1 portal. I like the idea of 1 portal. But basically they found a middle ground for the newer PoE players, which is now maps will start with 6 portals and they reduce down to 1 portal a map when you add more modifiers. So basically, yeah, so noobs who die a lot have their 6 portals, but once you're deeper in the end game, it's still 1 portal for the rest of the player base who weren't struggling with map sustain. Because basically, the people who were struggling with map sustain, like we initially thought, they were probably just dying too much. Yeah, that ended up being the case. They were just dying all the time. So that's why they were map sustaining. Map portals aren't going to be shared like in PoE 1. So if there's a 6 portal map, then all players in the party will get 6 portals individually. Pinnacle bosses no longer grant XP or lose your XP on death. Basically, because apparently a lot of people were scared to do pinnacle bosses because they didn't want to lose their XP if they died. Now there's no risk of that. So yeah, you're free to do pinnacle bosses without worrying about XP loss. And then we got new unique tablets. We have a tablet that lets you run maps that you have no connections to, which lets you jump across, because sometimes you can see a bunch of maps in the distance, but you have no connection to it. Since the towers are more powerful, they have more range, etc. Use that tablet and now you can run a map that you have no connections to. Pretty interesting. And then we have an expedition tablet they showed, which duplicated all runic monsters and made all monsters that spawned weakened. Then we have the updated Atlas skill tree, and that's pretty much it. You can choose, they said you can choose to do all of this with your existing character, or they recommend starting in the new league with a fresh economy. If you enjoyed this video or are interested in the dev Q&A, I also I've done a summary for that. You can go click that now or watch it after this video. That's like a 2-hour dev Q&A condensed into like under 10 minutes. So yeah, you can watch that now. If you're looking forward to this upcoming league or the Huntress class, please let me know down in the comment section below. And if there's anything you feel that GGG has missed in this patch, let us know in the comments what you think they should add next. Anyway guys, that's all I have for this video. I will see you in the next one. Peace.